He's made it look ridiculously easy. Roger Federer goes to his knees this time as a Wimbledon champion.
Who would have known that that was going to be the start of an era? Who would have known that that point and that moment would define tennis history forever? And who would have known that that man, just at the age of 22, would go on to become the greatest tennis player that ever lived? Roger Federer was born in Basel, Switzerland in 1981 to his father Robert and mother Lynette. He began playing tennis at the age of 8 and was among the top 3 junior tennis players in Switzerland by the age of 11. By the time he was 14, he became the national junior champion in Switzerland. Just 2 years later, he was awarded his first sponsorship. In 2001, he turned pro, and it only took him 2 years to win his first Grand Slam title, his first of 17, which is only one of the hundreds of prestigious records that he holds. Despite his unbelievable 17 Grand Slam titles, he holds some other records that truly stand out and separate him from the rest. He's been ranked as the world #1 player for a record total of 302 weeks throughout his career. He holds the record for most consecutive US Open titles in a row, with 5. He has appeared in an all-time high 25 Grand Slam finals and 36 Grand Slam semifinals. He has an overall record of 979 wins and only 225 losses. There is no doubt that these records are unbelievable. The statistics show that he is truly the greatest player to ever step onto a court. But being classified as the greatest ever requires more than just records and awards. It requires a certain work ethic and attitude as well. This is also something that Roger has. Former and current coaches, players, and analysts all talk about Roger with high praise. Pete Sampras, a retired legend and holder of 14 Grand Slam titles, had this to say about Federer.
He's a good man and he's a great sportsman. You know, he does everything well, handles himself well off the court, and he's a credit to the sport.
Mark Philippoussis, the man who Federer beat in his first Grand Slam final in 2003, said this.
Yeah, arguably probably the best player to play the game. I think the best thing about him is he's a champion and a gentleman on and off the court. He carries himself very well. He's perfect ambassador for the game of tennis, and like I said, is a gentleman. So it definitely makes things a lot nicer.
Andy Roddick, an American legend and longtime rival of the Swiss superstar, said this.
I mean, if you look at 17 slams, he's won every Grand Slam. He's the greatest of all time right now.
After so much success, you would think that most players would lose motivation or become arrogant and cocky. Not Roger. He stayed humble and hungry throughout his entire career, and I only expect more of the same. In a 2011 interview in his second hometown of Dubai, Federer talked about the topic.
You need to have that fire burning, to really want to achieve big things. And that's what I have, and I think that's why I'm doing really well still. I always question myself in the best of times, even when I was world #1 for many, many weeks and months in a row. At certain times during the year, I said, what can I improve? What do I need to change? Because if you don't do anything or you just do the same thing over and over again, you stay the same. And staying the same means going backwards because the other guys are working hard and improving. So I always needed to find ways to improve my game as well.
His work ethic and desire to continue to be at the top of his game is what puts him in an elite class of athletes. He has a unique combination of drive and natural talent that is rarely seen in any sport. So that brings us back to the never-ending question. It's an argument that's been going on for years and one that's sure to continue. Who truly is the best player of all time? Everybody has a different opinion and view other players as the greatest ever. Players like Pete Sampras, Rod Laver, and Rafael Nadal have all been listed as the greatest of all time ahead of Federer. So, maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe it's just a product of other people's opinions. Maybe somebody will come along and win 18 Grand Slam titles. Maybe a true declaration isn't possible. But one thing's for sure. Roger Federer truly is and always will be a class act and ambassador of the sport of tennis. I'm AJ Newharth-Koish, and that was my audio podcast for ATP Tennis Talk.